And on the line with us, Susan Swift, lawyer, writer, reporter at Politichicks. SusanSwift.net is her website. You can tweet her at Real Susan Swift, SWIFT. Susan, welcome to the program.
Thanks very much, Tom, for having me.
Thanks for joining us. I should say, you're a conservative, you're an actress, you're an attorney, your latest piece over at Politichicks was Starting Anarchy, How the Clinton Campaign Machine and the DNC Incite Violence at Trump Rallies, which was an interesting read. People can check that out. There's 6 topics that Chris Wallace has defined for the debate coming up: debt and entitlements, immigration, economy, Supreme Court, foreign hotspots, and fitness to be president. I'd like to discuss those with you. The debt and entitlements. How is Donald Trump going to thread the needle between Paul Ryan and the classic Republican wing of the Republican Party, which has worked since 1935 to try to privatize or eliminate Social Security, and Trump's often repeated promise on the primary trail that he would either maintain or expand Social Security?
Well, I think you can read about his program. I've written about it actually at Politichicks.com, because what he's going to do is, by cutting corporate taxes and by cutting taxes overall, that will stimulate private economy growing. And then what will happen is we will be able to increase our revenues. We've seen that before. Whenever you cut taxes, it ends up that the government makes more money in the end, because the lower taxes actually spur people to invest in private.
So how come the debt tripled during Reagan when Reagan cut taxes? How come it doubled during Bush when Bush cut taxes? How come the debt went down? The only 2 presidents to have actually had balanced budgets were Democratic presidents.
I think you need to look at Obama. He has raised the debt. I mean, he's increased it beyond what all of the other presidents have done combined. We are now at what?
Well, that's because he put George W. Bush's stuff that he put on the credit card: 2 multi-trillion-dollar wars, a $1 trillion tax cut. George W. Bush didn't pay for any of that. He put it all on the credit card. Obama put it on the budget. I mean, you know, you're looking at the consequences of George W. Bush. But my original question: how is without having to go to a website and read your article, how is Donald Trump going to reconcile the fact that the official Republican Party's position on Social Security and the position that Paul Ryan has taken in every single one of the budgets that he's proposed is let's cut Social Security, and Donald Trump has said he's not going to cut Social Security. And Social Security has nothing to do with our debt, by the way, as you well know, I'm sure.
The debt service is what's crushing everything, and I don't think that they're going to cut Social Security. But cutting the rate of growth of the economy is not the same thing as cutting the economy. And what we have to do is get our budget in order. We have to start trimming somewhere.
What does that have to do with Social Security?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
What does that have to do with Social Security?
You had asked me, how do we save Social Security? How will Donald Trump save Social Security?
No, I asked you how he reconciles his assertion that he's going to save Social Security and the Republican assertion that they're going to destroy Social Security. The Republican Party's been working to destroy Social Security since it was started. That is not a debatable point. I mean, look at, there's no end of rhetoric from Barry Goldwater calling it communism. Anyway, back to you, Susan. We've lost your audio altogether. Any chance you could pick your phone up and talk into it?
I hear me now?
Yeah. Let's try the telephone. Jane?
Conservatives want to do is privatize Social Security, and that means gradually moving younger people from Social Security into private options, because the system that it is set up right now cannot be sustained. It will go bankrupt unless something is done to save it and to fix it. And I know conservatives have been saying this for years, and it isn't a debate as to whether they want to save it or not. It's they want to move away from a government-controlled system to a privately controlled system, so that you as a person have the right to invest. Have a right to invest and save in a private system for your own return.
No, I understand that. That was Ronald Reagan's sales pitch when he rolled out 401ks and IRAs. I mean, it was, hey, this is the first step to doing away with Social Security. But and you know, clearly Social Security has a problem. The problem is deadbeat rich people. If you make more than $118,000 a year, you pay no Social Security taxes. If you know, Warren Buffett and Bill Gates were paying the same level of Social Security taxes as you and me, or as you know, normal working people, then there'd be no problem with Social Security. So we've got a deadbeat rich people problem. Not gee, we need to hand this over to Wall Street so that they can skim another $1 trillion off the top of it.
You ought to be talking to Hillary Clinton, who is the uber 1% of the 1%. She's making, what, $20 million on speeches, and she's the one that continues wanting.
And she's calling for the expansion of Social Security.
On this. It's Hillary Clinton and the Democrat Party who believe in soaking the middle class and the poor people with higher taxes by ever raising the
yeah. Susan, there's no such thing as a Democrat Party. That was a phrase that Joe McCarthy came up with, and he said, be sure to emphasize rat when you say it as a slur. It's Thomas Jefferson named it the Democratic Party, actually originally named it the Democratic Republican Party. They dropped Republican in 1828. It's the Democratic Party.
The Democrat Party, yes.
The Democratic Party.
I'm talking about.
There is no Democrat Party. Just FYI. Maybe they didn't teach this in law school, but there's two political parties, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. And
no, it's actually the Democrat Party, and it's Republican and Democrat, and that's just the way it has been. But in any event, let's get to.
All right. I suggest you take a high school history course. But the point about Social Security is that Social Security is just fine. You know, Social Security is going to be 8 Congresses.
Tom, it's going bankrupt.
It is not going bankrupt.
Debate of the issues. It is. It's going to go bankrupt. What, in 2017 or something? I mean, we're at the precipice.
No, you know,
implosion.
You know, Republicans have been saying this literally since 1936.
The implosion of the Roosevelt era of big government and taking care of everyone, it is imploding. We cannot keep taking. You can't.
No, I know you want to destroy it. I get it. You know, Republicans hate American government as it was reinvented by Franklin Roosevelt. I get how anti-American Republicans are, Susan. But with regard to Social Security, the very simple math, which the Social Security Administration itself acknowledges, is that if you had everybody who makes more than $250,000 pay the same rate of Social Security income tax, or the same rate of Social Security tax as the janitor working at McDonald's, Social Security's problems are solved forever.
I would love to have a flat rate, one flat rate. That would be great. But what you're using is
that's what we're talking about. Social Security is a flat tax, except it doesn't apply to rich people.
Sorry. You're using the word destroy. We're using the word save by privatizing. We don't want the government in charge of everything. We don't want the government in telling people how much they're allowed to save in their retirement.
Nobody's telling people that.
Pardon me?
I can save all the money I want in my 401k or my IRA. So can you.
Right. Why
when did the government start telling us things?
Tom, why can't I take the money that the government is confiscating out of my paycheck and diverting to the Social Security, you know,
because you're part of society. A third of the people on Social Security right now are literally widows, orphans, and disabled people. They're people, you know, with horrible problems.
That's why the Republicans have been talking about phasing out Social Security for younger payers. They're not talking about touching anything for the senior citizens.
Right. So let's just screw the younger generation.
Pardon me?
Let's just stick it to the younger generation.
Well, no, we're giving the opportunity for them to say, hey, if you want to, you can opt out of, if you want to.
Right. If you're rich enough, you can save money.
It's called choice. It is a freedom to do what you want. If you want to believe in the government and invest it in Social Security, you could do that. Or if you want to, you could put it into a private retirement.
Okay. Susan, you have the last word. Thank you very much. Susan Swift.